What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful fight fans across the world? And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Francis Ngannou is fighting this Saturday, and no one really cares. Nobody really knows, I feel like. I barely see anything about it online, and I think only hardcore MMA fans know that Francis Ngannou is actually fighting in the PFL this Saturday against a giant. Okay, this is the first time Francis Ngannou is fighting somebody bigger than him other than Tyson Fury in boxing, but this is MMA. We're talking about MMA here. This is the first time he's going to fight somebody that's significantly bigger than him. So what does that mean and what is going to happen in these fights? I'm going to predict it now, and we're going to talk about why this fight isn't being promoted well. First of all, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. This is promoted by PFL. Okay, we know that other MMA organizations are not on the same level as the UFC when it comes to promotion, when it comes to having... Look, Francis Ngannou is a huge name in MMA. He's one of the most popular heavyweights ever in MMA, and most fans don't even know that he's fighting this Saturday, probably. The casuals don't know that Francis Ngannou is fighting this Saturday. They're just going to see the highlight after he knocks Ferrera the fuck out. That's what they're going to see. They're not going to see the actual fight. They're not going to tune in to the actual PFL. There's more of a likelihood for them to tune in for Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira, which is actually a pretty banger fight night card. It's not that bad this Saturday. It's decent. The main card's pretty gas, but let's talk about this card right here. This is where the fights, you start seeing people you know. Fabian Edwards, that's Leon Edwards' brother, and he's going to fight Johnny Eblen, which is a huge name in the PFL as well, outside of the UFC. Johnny Eblen is one of the biggest MMA stars out of the UFC. He's going to fight Leon Edwards' brother, and you know what's crazy? Ever since Leon Edwards lost to Bilal Muhammad, you don't hear anything about bro. Like, bro went to the Shadow Realm. I think he's going to come back and fight who? Like, maybe Ian Gary, but that's not about Leon Edwards. This is about this PFL card. And in the co-main event, we have Cris Cyborg, another huge name in MMA. One of the biggest names in WMMA ever is out there. And she's the betting... Oh my God, she's the underdog? I don't know about that one, coach. I don't know about that one. But Cris Cyborg is also fighting in the co-main event against who? But the main event is what we really care about. Francis Ngannou versus Renan Ferrera. I think that's how you say his name. And who did he knock out? Oh, Renan Ferrera knocked out Ryan Bader in his last fight in like 30 seconds because Renan Ferrera is just fucking huge. I think he's the best heavyweight outside of the UFC, but that's not saying much because heavyweight MMA is just, let's be real, it's poo-poo. It's the most poo-poo division in the UFC. It's either that or flyweight. Those are the two most poo-poo divisions in the UFC when it comes to contenders and yada yada. Not skill level. Flyweights are really skilled, but when it comes to heavyweights, the skill level is not that high. They're just big boys. Okay, the big boys that size are out here playing football, doing other things. They're not out here fighting MMA, putting their CTE, their brain on the line. Okay. But Francis Ngannou versus Renan Ferrera, this fight means a lot because, you know, the sad news that we heard about Francis Ngannou this year with his little son Kobe dying. I watched that whole Joe Rogan podcast, and seeing Francis Ngannou like that could bring a tear to a grown man's eye. Okay, because nobody should go through that. Nobody should have a little, like, their little kid that small. Like, I think Kobe was not even 2 years old, died just randomly from... unwanted disease. So R.I.P. Kobe. R.I.P. Kobe Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, this fight means a lot to him. I think he's going to go out there and absolutely brutalize Renan Ferrera because, oh my God, that's a traumatic event Francis Ngannou went through this year. And if he goes out there and loses again after he lost to Anthony Joshua before, I'm pretty sure that was earlier in this year. That's just going to be fucking sad. Okay, that's just going to be fucking sad. I can't see that. My heart can only handle so much in MMA. Watching MMA is one of the most taxing sports on your heart, with your stress levels, with everything. Because, you know, you follow fighters, right? And they go through things in their life. And then they also take losses on the biggest stage in the world. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to us when they take a loss. Imagine how much it means to them, especially when this is their livelihood. This is how they're making money. You got to respect these guys. I do. I respect every single UFC fighter. I know I like to make fun of a lot of them a lot, but that's just poking fun. I always respect anybody who puts their brain on the line, their life on the line, just for our entertainment. I'll always respect that. But Francis Ngannou versus Renan Ferrera. Ooh, I just hope Francis Ngannou goes out there and puts on the performances he was putting on in MMA. I think there's going to be a more striking battle. I've seen some tape of Renan Ferrera, not much, but mostly he's on the feet. And Francis Ngannou, he's dangerous on the feet. He has literally the the Guinness World Record for the strongest punch in the world. So Renan Ferrera, he's in for a treat. But Renan Ferrera is pretty big. He's a big guy. He kind of towers over Francis Ngannou, which is kind of crazy when you really think about it, because Francis Ngannou is massive. Francis Ngannou ripped is 265 pounds. Like, Francis Ngannou is a massive dude. But him versus Renan Ferrera, I think we're in for a treat. I'm definitely going to tune into this PFL card just to watch Francis Ngannou. Maybe I'll watch the Leon Edwards, Chris Cyborg fights too, but I'm most likely going to be watching Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira this weekend. But I just want to bring more light to this fight. I just want more people to tune into this fight, because Francis Ngannou, even though he left the UFC, even though he's not in the UFC anymore, I think we still have to give him respect. It would be great to see Francis Ngannou maybe come back to the UFC one day. Even though I doubt it, I think that's never going to happen, because he just has such a good seat in PFL right now. But you never know. PFL's throwing a lot of money around. It might go under one day. But it is sponsored by Riyadh Season, I'm pretty sure. Or just sponsored by Saudi money. So we'll see how long PFL lasts. It might last a while. They might have a lot of money to burn. But I'm definitely going to be tuning into the Francis Ngannou versus Renan Ferrera fight. I hope Francis Ngannou goes out there and gets the KO. Francis Ngannou needs a win in life. He needs a win, and I can't wait to see it, because I love Francis Ngannou. Okay, I wish he was in the UFC, because him versus Tom Aspinall, him versus John Jones, oh my God, those are the best heavyweights on the world. Let's be real. Francis Ngannou, Tom Aspinall, John Jones, those are the three best heavyweight MMA fighters in the world. No questions asked. Francis Ngannou, he beat Cyril Gane. He can beat anybody in the top 5. So can Tom Aspinall. So can John Jones. So I do want to see Francis Ngannou in the UFC one day, but I really doubt that that's ever going to happen. But let me know down below. Are you going to tune into this Francis Ngannou fight? Did you even know that it was happening? Because I doubt that a lot of you even knew it was happening. But I do have a lot of hardcore fans on my page, so they probably did know. But that's it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you. Turn the notifications on, and I'll see you, beautiful people, in the next one, man.